Good morning everyone, today we're going to be talking about the Crystia Weapons. I'm sure some of you guys have already saw the thumbnail and the title and are a little bit in disbelief, but don't worry, I will explain all the numbers. But the TLDR is, yes, the Crystia Weapons is like 25% stronger than your Kaizaar weapon. But before we jump into the video, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. Alright, so the very first thing I want to show you guys over here is my Kaizaar weapon. My Kaizaar weapon is pretty much top of the line. As you can see here, I've got Mastery 4, I've got an Addy Capsule, I've got a Frost Soul 3, Gigas Might 3, as well as Dreadkeeper 3. Now you could argue, Karo, that's not top of the line, you know, you should have Frost Soul 4, Gigas Might 4, as well as Dreadkeeper 4. Well, okay, Dreadkeeper 4 is not out yet, but you should definitely be on the 4s with the Frost Soul as well as the Might. Well, I've been slacking off and, well, I don't really have any of those capsules, and it's awfully expensive to make those capsules, so I'm sticking with what I currently have. But compare that with my Crystia weapon, which is very mediocre augments. Now for the uninitiated, I know some of you guys may be a little bit confused and like, what the heck is Soul X? What is Gigas Enfoy? Like, I've never seen any of these augments before. Don't worry, I'll explain where you can get these, and you don't even need to spend Meseta, they're literally free. But let's take a quick look at my stats. You can see here that I gain 9.3% melee potency as well as 9.3 technique potency, and that is simply because Soul X over here gives me 10 HP, 3 PP, and melee as well as technique weapon potency plus 2.5%, as well as the Gigas Enfoy over here gives me 15 HP as well as 2.5% melee as well as technique potency. And then the most important augment over here is of course the event augment over here. So these are automatically applied to all the Crystia weapons, where against seasonal enemies you gain a 5% potency boost, a 20% critical hit rate boost, as well as damage resistance plus 25%. So now you guys probably know what the catch is. The catch is only against seasonal enemies is the Crystia weapons far superior than any other 7-star weapon that we have right now. So in order to prove my point, I'm going to jump over here to Cake's calculator because they have updated it. So the link to this sheet will be in the description below. Please actually follow the instructions and go to file and actually make a copy, because if you don't make a copy, you won't be able to adjust all these numbers, okay? So what you're going to do at the very beginning, first of all, is you're going to fill in all of your augments. So, you know, my weapon is a Kaizaar weapon. I had Mastery 4 and Addy Capsule. I filled out all the details as well as all of my armor details. So I've got Sword Zest armor with the natural 4. I've got a guard 2. I've got a guard 2 over here. So you just fill out all your different augments that you have over here. And I did make a video before talking about this saying that, listen, you know, I've got like insane amount of damage resistance. I've got I've got a stupid amount of damage resistance, 45% damage resistance. That's really silly, but that's not what we're here for. We have a new tab over here called weapon specific settings. Over here you want to fill out your Crystia budget build augments. So as you can see here, I filled out all 5 of the augments that I'm currently using. And once you've done that, then you're going to scroll down here and you can see Kaizaar weapon, it's 0% DPS increase. Well, because, you know, this is comparing it with my current Kaizaar weapon. But if you scroll down, you can see against an Obsidia weapon, your rugged weapons, but right here, Crystia seasonal budget augment, whopping 25.57% DPS increase. But now let's change this. Let's say that you're not using triple bolt. Let's say that you want to use a stat 4. So let's use Might 4. So we can select Might 4 right here and let's scroll down. Look, that has increased this 26.8% DPS increase over my Kaizaar weapon. Now again, the catch is this only applies to seasonal enemies. When you are fighting non-seasonal enemies, as you can see here, it is actually a 2% DPS loss compared to my Kaizaar weapon. Well, it just so happens that there's really only 3 pieces of content which do not have seasonal enemies. And that is, of course, purple triggers. So if you're farming Gigas through the purple triggers, the Crystia weapon is absolutely useless. If you're farming Dark Falls rank 2, so that's the 4-man version, then yes, Dark Falls is not a seasonal enemy, so it's absolutely useless there. And the last one is Ordinal Tower, Cocoons, as well as Cannonball Strike, as well as Cannonball Rumble. All of those do not have seasonal enemies. So if you're running anything else other than those 3 pieces of content, the Crystia weapon is going to shine and is absolutely going to demolish all the enemies in front of you because of its crazy amount of damage. Now I know a lot of you guys are probably a little bit skeptical going, okay Kara, but 26%? That's like a huge amount of DPS increase. Are you sure it's actually 26%? Yes, I actually talked this through with Cake, the creator of this spreadsheet, because I was a little bit skeptical myself. I was like, that's like, you know, 25%, 26%, that's like a huge DPS increase. And the main reason is because of the critical hit rate plus 20%. This is a massive amount of critical hit rate, which negates your damage adjustment. Because remember, every time you crit, you'll be hitting 120% of your damage. So basically, you don't need any floor potency, you don't need anything, you're crit. You just keep critting and you'll deal the maximum amount of damage, and there's no variance, there's no range, there's no RNG involved in that. So this is the main reason why the Crystia weapons are so freaking powerful. Now there is something that a lot of people tend to forget, and Cake told me to remind everyone about it, and that is your weapon potential. Please make sure that your weapon potential is level 4, because this potency plus 25% is freaking massive. So you need to make sure that if you do decide to use a Crystia weapon, that you need to get your weapon potential to level 4. It's not super expensive, you're gonna be fine. There's a bunch of randomite right now, so you're gonna get a ton of these materials that you need in order to upgrade your weapons. Now you do need X cubes, so you need 5 X cubes, but I mean, come on, it's not too difficult. I'm sure you guys can do it. Because compared to your Kaizaar weapon, you get a pitiful 17% versus your Crystia weapon's 25%, which is fantastic. But now to talk about where to get all of these fancy capsules, because I know a lot of people are kind of curious since you probably have never heard of some of these capsules. Well, they are all obtainable in the event shop. You're simply going to talk to Event Lady. Now you will need to unlock the secret shop. So once you click on the secret shop over here, you're going to scroll to the very bottom. And right here, these are all the new Gigas capsules. These are the fusion ones. So you've got the Emfroy one, which is the one that I'm using because I do play melee and tech at the moment, simply because it makes my farming a lot easier. I can use a rod or I can use a katana and just decimate all my enemies. Now, of course, if you are a melee in range, let's say that you're the traditional braver with a katana and a bow, you can go with the Aglai over here. And if you're range and technique, you can use the Tali over here. Now, it's the same thing with the souls over here. You've got the X variants, which give you HP as well as PP. You got the P variant, which just gives you PP, and then you've got the H variant, which just gives you HP. So you can pick up 40 of each of these souls as well as the Gigas capsules. So that's pretty much going to cover you for all of your armors as well as your weapons. If you do decide to upgrade your armors, maybe you want to use the Ephetus armors because they're really good. You can just shove in these augments and boom, you're 90% done with augments for your armors. Now, for those who are wondering where on earth do you get the stat 4s, you can also get it from the event shop, but you are limited to 10 of these. So that means that it can only be put onto your weapon. Well, I advise you to put it onto your weapon because it does give you that extra potency. Now, keep in mind that this is a singular potency and not a mixed potency. So you have to pick between might, precision, or technique. Alright, now for those who want a Crystia weapon immediately, you can just go to the first seasonal shop. So this is the regular seasonal shop, and right here you've got a bunch of Crystia weapons which are already augmented. So you've got your triple, you've got your Ultra Creator 3, you don't even need to spend any money. All you need to do is enhance this to level 50 so that you get your 5th augment slot, replace Irradiate Soul 3 with the new soul of whatever soul you want to use, Soul X, Soul H, Soul P, and for the last slot you just fill it with the Gigas capsule that you get from the event shop. And boom, your augments are done. Now before you go off and start slaughtering enemies, again, do not forget about your weapon potential. The weapons that you buy from the event shop do not have their potentials unlocked. You need to unlock it to stage 4 to gain that 25% extra potency, which will make your life super duper easy. So in conclusion, make sure that you use the sheet that I have provided in the description below. You're simply going to open this sheet. Again, you go to file and then you make a copy so that you can edit all the numbers. You're going to fill out all the augments for your Kaizaar weapon, or if you don't use a Kaizaar weapon, again, you can just click here and you can replace it. So, maybe you're using a Prim weapon or whatever weapon, you can replace whatever weapon you're using and then fill out all the augments. Same with the armors, you want to do the exact same thing so that you have a baseline. So that's going to be, of course, like what your current gear is, what your current damage is, and that way you can compare it with all the other weapons. Then you're going to scroll up here to the weapon specific settings over here, and then for the Crystia budget build augments, you're going to fill in whatever augments you decide to use. Again, you can pick all these augments up from the event shop, so you don't need to spend any money. And once that is all plugged in, it will automatically calculate how much DPS increase you're gonna get. So you can see if it is worth it for you to upgrade to a Crystia weapon or not. 99% of the time, it is gonna be worth upgrading to a Crystia weapon. I don't actually see a single use case scenario where you won't want to upgrade to it, to be perfectly honest. But you know, I just want to be safe and cover my own butt. But another thing that you can also look at is, of course, a Crystia weapon with a Fixa. Because Crystia weapons can drop in combat zones. They can drop all over the place. And the nice thing is you can get a Fixa. If you get a Fixa attack, or my favorite is going to be a Fixa Fatale. Fixa Fatale gives you even more crit rate. So with the 20% crit rate that the Crystia weapon already gives you, plus extra crit rate from the Fixa Fatale 5, you don't even need any floor potency. You're going to be hitting 120% of your damage all the time, which is going to be, it's just insane. That's so crazy that you can actually do that. This is like a dream for me. I hope that with the Steer region that we do get critical rate augments, because I want to go full crit build. Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again. But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.
What can I say except you're welcome for the